प्रोग्राम की शुरुआत ਅਸੀਂ एक सैगमेंट तो कर रहे हैं। लोकल जानकारियां देना GTA ਦੀ हैपनिंग्स ਅਸੀਂ हर वीक ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦਿਖਾਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ। NDP ਦੀ ਲੀਡਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਦੀ ਰੇਸ ਲੱਗੀ ਹੋਈ ਆ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਭਾਈਚਾਰੇ ਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਮਾਰਟਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰ ਨੇ और ट्राई कर रहे हैं। उन्होंने एक प्रैस मीट रखी अपने माल्टन वाले ऑफिस के विच ओदी एक रिपोर्ट तुहानू दिखा रहे हैं। देखो फॉलो करो क्योंकि लोकल पॉलिटिक्स और लोकल सियासी पार्टियां दी जानकारी लेना साडा फर्ज आ और उन्होंने समझना भी साडा फर्ज आ। इंजॉय दिस सेगमेंट। Your 6 months policy for the parents to come is it's just like a mini model of a super visa.
No. Because what?
Which abandons the families to put their application in. The families just cannot apply under the super visa.
No. Understand what I'm saying. I'm saying that you would have both. Like people would be able to apply, right, for their parents to come over, and that would be permissible. And we would open that up, and we would allocate resources to make sure that people are able to take advantage of that. What I'm saying though is that the responses I'm getting back, not just from this community, but many other immigrant communities right across Canada, is they're saying, why don't you open it up in a different way? Meaning that sometimes the parents come here after all that time waiting and work and money spent, and then they don't enjoy it here and then they go back. How about, while the process is ongoing, give them the ability to visit here so that they're not waiting 5 years for the immigration process to take place? I see that as a win-win. I don't see it as an either or. Do you see where I'm going with that, buddy, or no? No?
I think that was already being tried by Liberal government, and obviously Conservatives stopped that.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate.
Because that's not clearing the backlog, not helping to clear the backlog.
Yeah, well, clearing the backlog's a different thing, right? I mean, because what we're talking about here is that we're talking about, how shall I put it? We're talking about them blocking new applicants, for example, right? Blocking new applicants is one thing. I'm saying that we should still continue to take new applicants. If we're now talking about a different process whereby we try to facilitate greater processing of these applications or increasing or accelerating the rate of the processing, that's a different question, which requires a different answer. And the different answer is that that's a question of priorities. The Conservative Party has priorities on building prisons for criminals that don't exist or on building $35 billion fighter jets. Well, let me tell you that you can hire a lot of immigration officials for $35 billion. Not that you would assign all the money to that particular area. But this reflects the difference between the New Democratic Party and the Conservative Party in terms of where they want to go, right, with their policy ideas. And so that would be my idea. Hanji.
Toronto Star recently said Jagmeet is one of the top people to watch, and I was surprised to hear he still has not only come out and supported the office indicator in his writing.
My office is located directly inside of his federal office when he ran for MP. In fact, yes, that's a question that you're going to have to ask him, Paji, because I don't have an answer, unfortunately.
And there are so many things I would like to share this with you, that there are so many things that all the campaigns they have different strategies, and our campaign strategy is not to get any specific endorsements from any group or any MPs. Our specific campaign strategy is to get the basic memberships as much as we can do. Once we have more basic memberships, obviously those people will be more interested to support our campaign. And our campaign will enter into that road after we are done with the deadline of the signing of new sign-ups, as we had mentioned earlier, that February 18th is the last day to sign the new membership. So till February the 18th, our focus is to create and to sign as much as new people we could do. After that, this roundup starts after that. If anybody else is going to endorse us or they are going to put their eggs into our basket, that counting of all those things starts after the deadline of signing up the new memberships.
He's got the database you're looking for.
Pardon?
For the members. He's got the database you're looking for the members.
The database that exists is a voter database, not a member database. The two are very, very different, right? Right? Yeah, but you understand where I'm going with that. You understand the distinction between the two, right? One's a voter database and the other's a member database, and those two are not the same.
Sir, talking about the diversity issue, and that has been my question in the press meets I've had with you,
Gee.
that Has your campaign been making inroads with different communities, let's say the Spanish community, Portuguese community, Jamaican community, other than, in the normal term, I would say, Indo-Pakistani community? Let's say the Chinese community, I say because today is the Chinese New Year, and I never heard a word from you being fighting for the national leadership.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is this, is that my campaign does not put out a new statement with each and every single holiday celebrated by each and every single ethnic group, right?
Okay.
I can tell you that, well, I mean, I gave the example earlier with going to Oshawa and whatnot. I mean, there are many other campaign events that are of that nature. Again, the thing is this, is that, how shall I put it? If I had the financial resources available, Paji, I'd bring you on campaign with me and then you would see. But,
I'm talking about the general GT area, sir. I'm not talking about the whole country. Are you making inroads with other communities?
yes, of course, of course. Yeah,
Okay. That
absolutely.
was the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Martin Singh, actually, when the people come from any other countries, let's say from India or from Pakistan or somebody else, they come here as a point base. Let's say there are doctors there, there are dentists there, and they're working in several categories. When they come here, they have to do like, $10 and $20 a job for starting up, because you know what? They have to go through all this process again, go through the education, go through the whole dilemma. What Martin Singh's gonna do about this? Because you know what? When they come over here, they sell everything over there, bring the money and everything here, but they don't get jobs. What they actually were doing over there, they were accountants over there, they were doctors over there, they were. There's several professions actually I can count on.
Yes.
But when they come down here, they don't work as doctors here. They don't work as a dentist here. They work as like $10, $20 a job.
Gee.
What Martin Singh's gonna do about this?
Well, part of the answer I gave to you already, right?
Well, I was late, so.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay. So part of the answer that I gave, and this is actually, I can't claim this idea to be my own, frankly speaking. It was a very well-respected businessman, John Lisley, who's the head of Clearwater Fine Foods, who stated this particular idea at an Institute of Corporate Directors event held in Halifax, in downtown Halifax. And what he said was this, was that Canada does not do a good job of recognizing the credentials of immigrants. So why are we asking them to have these credentials?
Right.
And what he said was, if we're asking people to get retrained upon entry to Canada regardless, then what we should do is we should have them arrive prior to their training period. And so what he recommended was that we in fact allow people to apply on with just a university degree. And then, so if you have the skills and capability to get a university degree, then you are what we would call trainable. Meaning that instead of going through your BSc and then training and becoming a doctor in India,
Right.
get your BSc, come to Canada.
That's right. That's another criteria. That criteria comes up in a student base. If the student is in a university or something like that, and after that he wants to do a PhD or whatever, he can come down here. That's another criteria. That criteria I'm actually concerning about is he is a doctor. He's working over there for 30 years.
Yep.
And he applied for a point base. He came down here. He's not working as a doctor.
That's right.
My concern is if he was with a 30 years experience, he's a doctor.
Yeah.
Why he's not working over here? Why he's working as a security job here?
Yeah. Or why does or why does he have to go through 5 years
go
of free
through
education?
Whole odd jobs and whole thing, whole education again and again. So he does have experience.
Yeah.
Canadian immigration on that time actually got his certificates, got his experience and everything.
That's right.
That's why.
Well, they gave him the points. They gave him the points to come.
Even though he went to even the English speaking classes, which is what you call IELTS.
Yes.
But after that, getting all those points done, he got his immigration, he got here with his family, but there's no job. What's the point of getting a point-based people from overseas here when you don't have a job? As long as, what my concern is, if somebody's coming from outside of Canada and he's a professional, before even he enters Canada, it should be a job provided there.
No. The Canadian government's not ever going to guarantee people jobs.
Well,
you can be sure of that.
Well,
and I won't do that either. right? But what I will say is that the first issue that you raised of credential recognition is an important one, because if it's recognized insofar points is concerned, then there should be some broader, recognition. The difficulty that you have here, Paji, is that the recognition for credentials is not done on a government basis, meaning it's done by independent bodies. So, for example, for doctors, it's the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons.
Right.
For engineers, it's the various professional engineering associations and whatnot. The thing is that it's a very long process to make this work, but the federal government could commit resources to engaging these various professional bodies to put together, how shall I put it, pathways for certification. And it can happen in two ways. The part of our society where it actually works the best, and I won't say that it necessarily works well, but it works the best, is recognition of university credits. Meaning that the universities have, in their power and ability, methods to evaluate university degrees and university courses from abroad. This is what we need to have happen for professionals. But it's only half the equation. Why? My own brother-in-law is going through his residency in internal medicine. After having, grown up in Patiala, did his medical arts degree at the Stomatological Research Institute in Moscow, returned, worked as a doctor of internal medicine in India, and then came to Canada. All in, I think he's now 6 years working, and he's still not qualified yet, but he's in process.
This is what my point is.
Yeah, so then there's two things here. What you can do is that you can do what I mentioned previously, which is have some method of credential recognition, or have a pathway whereby they can get trained up. Because right now, there's not a whole lot of pathways. And I was talking to doctors specifically. There just, quite simply, are very, very few residency positions held for international graduates.
Right.
And so if we were able to invest the dollars, which the federal government can do, particularly through the healthcare system working with the provinces, is that we could open up more residency positions, meaning that doctors would be able to arrive, their credentials would not be recognized right away, but they would have a pathway that they would enter into very, very quickly. And the residency one is a particularly good one. Why? Because not only do they get their training that they need, but they get paid, albeit not at market rate, but they get paid while they're doing it, so they're able to, support their family at the same time. These are the ideas that I would recommend. You mentioned a couple other ones like accountants and whatnot. I can't speak as well to those ones because I'm less familiar with each and every one of the different professions.
It's a different areas.
That's right, but I know the medical one, and the doctor one in particular because family members of mine are going through it.
No problem.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Martin,
It's a pleasure.
same question as you did. Let's say someone is doctor already in India or Pakistan, right? He is a doctor and he is working over there, right? So when he comes over here, let's say he's working, as he said, taking example, he was working there for 30 years.
Yes.
And he comes over here and he has to go through all the process again. So like he has worked over there for 30 years, he has all his practice, all his experience. So that means like the Canadian government does not accept the degrees we have or the education system we have back home in India or Pakistan?
Yeah, well, the thing is this, is that you're going to have to get recertified or requalified at some level to meet the Canadian system, because you have to be licensed, and in order to be licensed, you have to be covered under the liability insurance.
That's what my question was actually.
Yeah.
Meeting that criteria, meaning the relicense and everything.
Yes.
And getting it relocated.
Mhm.
When they're giving a visa to the point-based system on
Yeah.
that time,
Yes.
why wouldn't they do it on that time? While actually they do it right away.
They already know that. They cannot come and practice medicine over here. They already know it in India.
Yeah, well, there's that particular aspect, but also
They already
too,
know that.
but
Yeah,
also too,
exactly.
well, let's,
They've been told there that you cannot work here in Canada or in America as a doctor until you do the internship.
yeah, but moreover, and let's talk about that, the investment required for the internship is not going to be made in one of those foreign countries.
Yeah.
Meaning that if we want to train you up, and we're making an investment through the residency slots, which already exist, there's just not enough of them, that residency slot is not going to exist in Pakistan. It's not going to exist in Uzbekistan. It's not going to exist in China. It's going to exist here on the ground. So people have to get here first, and then they start the
But it's
process.
not only India or Pakistan, even the doctor in America
Yes.
practicing cannot come and practice here in Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a series of exams that they can write there whereby there's some recognition
Well,
that
they
happens.
might
Well,
get-
but a new graduate, you're right,
Yes.
Baji. Yeah, it's the exact same thing. Yeah. Yeah, in this particular case, it's not as though they're, keeping a certain group down or whatnot. It's a blanket, how shall I put it? There's no discrimination involved, but it doesn't mean that the problem's any better. It means
Yeah,
that
but
it's,
as you
it's
have
equally
brought
bad
up
for all groups.
You have brought a very good point that they can raise the seats in residence.
Yes, that's right.
But they are not raising it, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Even they don't need
Well,
doctors.
that's right.
They need doctors in Canada.
Yes.
And they have some doctors over here.
Yes.
As these gentlemen are saying 30-year experience. I understand their position, but their 30-year experience is nil over here. Simple as that.
Well, no, hang on, I want to jump in here.
Why is because they treat patients differently in their back countries.
Not only that too, sir, degrees issued over there have had credibility issues
Yes,
as
yes.
well.
That also.
Credibility issues
No,
as
no,
well.
there are equipment issues, they never use the same equipment what is used over here. The patient
I
is
think I'm done.
entirely different. There are many differences.
Well, this is the last question.
Thank you.
What is the magic number you want to achieve in terms of signing a membership and how far you are still apart from?
The whole voting system is very, very complicated. And so to find the magic number is near impossible. I'll tell you why this is. So what happens is that the vote is a preferential ballot, okay? So what happens is that all the members from across this country will mark down their number one, okay? And so long as you have a high number of votes, your number one stays with you. But there are 8 candidates. So for the bottom candidate on the first ballot, that candidate drops off. And all the number ones are eradicated. Meaning, let's say there's 3,000 votes there, hypothetically speaking. So for each one of those 3,000 votes, some of them might have no other number. And so the vote's cast in the garbage after that. Some of them will have number 2s, number 3s, all the way up to number 7s, hypothetically speaking. So what happens is then the number 2s all go to the respective candidates. And it could be any one of the other 7 candidates. Similarly, you have your next vote, and then the next person drops off, and then the next person drops off. So what it is that, let's say for example, I am a number 1 on a ballot, then clearly that carries through with me. But let's say I'm a number 4 on a ballot. You might say, well, Martin, that's never going to happen. But if that ballot has the number 1, number 2, and the number 3 person drop off, then that number 4 ballot then comes to me. You can see the complicated math involved, buddy. Yeah, it's too difficult. And what complicates it even further is that there are probably going to be about 100,000 members available to vote. Who knows what the voter turnout is going to be, and whatnot. And so I would be remiss if I were to put my finger on an exact number. Hanji Buddy.
If in the first count you get more than half of the total ballots cast,
Then it's over.
then it's over, right?
Yeah, it's 50% plus 1 Buddy.
Otherwise, every vote will be counted and
It goes until someone gets 50% plus 1. Exactly right. As many ballots as required.
I have gone through that voting system.
Yes.
We all did it. We all did it.
Yeah.
Liberal,
Yeah, in another party.
Liberal nomination always like that.
That's right.
Liberal nomination actually
Baji, the example that you're giving is exactly what happened with Jack Wheaton in 2003.
ਪਰ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਜੇ ਅਰਾਊਂਡ 20 ਤੋਂ 25,000 ਦੇ ਵੋਟਿੰਗ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਆਪਣੀ ਤਾਂ ਵੀ ਇਹਦਾ ਵੈਲਿਊ
Yeah, but like I said, the campaign officially does not state a number because it's too difficult.
ਆਪਾਂ ਵੈਸੇ ਨਾ
Questions? We're all good? Thank you all for coming again. I appreciate it so much. Still a lot of food over there. It's a bit cold now, but the tea's still warm. And you're more than welcome to hang out in the office and enjoy that. Also, too, if you want to chat with me, I think I still have time. Let me see what time it is. Yeah, I still have time before I have to head off to Oshawa. If you want to chat with me on a one-on-one basis, that I'm more than open to that. And the girls all have a package for you when you leave. I'm hoping I can count on your support throughout the remainder of the campaign. And if there's anything that you need from me also as a candidate, please feel free to contact me or my campaign. Thank you very much. God bless you, your friends, and your family. Thank you.